This is East Carolina All-American Bryant Packard, and we're talking Pirate baseball and the sports objective.
A little over 72 hours from now, East Carolina will be heading up to Charlottesville, Virginia, in the University of Virginia Regional, and very excited to be joined by one of the coaches that his team's going to be taking part, and that is the Army Black Knights, Coach Chris Tracz. Coach, we appreciate your time this morning.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir. I'm glad to have you back on. We had you on back in the spring of 2019 when you were a Marist Red Fox. What a tremendous job you did there. And now, obviously, a lot of success in your first year at Army, a program where you had spent, I believe, one season as a pitching coach back, about 15 years ago. But, bring Pirate Nation up to speed. What was the 2023 season like for the Army Black Knights?
Yeah, no, appreciate it. And the time we had it down at ECU a couple years ago, we've been trying to get back. I think we're actually on the schedule to get back down pretty soon, so we're looking forward to it. But for us, this group and the program as a whole, this is a fifth straight Patriot League title, fifth straight NCAA tournament. So these guys have done a great job. I've been with the program for just 9-10 months now. But we have some pretty good players. At the top part of our lineup is really, really good. We had a great season within the Patriot League. We're 21-4, so we and dominated, I think, our conference tournament. But early in the year, again, I thought we took a series from Charlotte early on. Had USF beat for a series and let that one get away. But we played K-State, opened up with Air Force, who was in their conference final. So I think we've been tested and kind of played well throughout the season from the beginning to the end. I thought we've been really, really competitive. And I think when you watch us play, or if you look at our numbers and things, everything you think an Army baseball player would be, these guys are, and they're fun to coach.
Yeah, Coach Tracz, that's one of the things that really jumped out to me. You talk about that series win over Charlotte. Next year is going to be a conference rival of East Carolina. And, of course, they won the Conference USA tournament to advance to the road to Omaha. And then also, like you said, that near miss that you guys had at Baum Walker Stadium there at Arkansas, who was, I think, ranked something like fourth at the time. I don't know, very highly, but and obviously the number 3 overall seed in the tournament.
Yeah, they went through obviously a bunch of injuries. It's been well documented. We got them in a midweek game, and I thought we played really well. And I think that's the part for these guys that's been important, is they've played in big environments. They played in big games, and we were more excited than nervous in that game. And hopefully that translates to what we have coming up in the next few days.
And taking a look at this Army program, like you said, so much success prior to your arrival. That's continued. And let's start off on the pitching side. Taking a look at your staff, you have a couple of starters as well as a couple of relievers that have sub-3 ERAs. And let's start off with those starters. One is actually from no more than 20 minutes from me, Huntersville, North Carolina, and that's right-hander, 6'3", 220 pounds, 5-1 on the season, Tanner Gresham.
Yeah, so we won't see Tanner Gresham. So Tanner had Tommy John surgery last week. So he pitched. We'll talk about him for a minute because I think it's pretty neat and shows the type of kids we have. Tanner Gresham threw 6 innings against Navy, obviously our rival, with a torn UCL, and beat Navy. And then, his season ended after that. But up until that point, all the numbers are pretty good. I think his, batting average against was under 200. He was as dominant a pitcher as we had. He didn't pitch the last 3 weekends of the year and was pitcher of the year. So kind of shows you the type of kid he is. But unfortunately, he's out for the tournament. And so we kind of then flipped into I think Matt Ronnebaum would be kind of the next guy on that list. He was a first team All Patriot League guy. And the difference, you guys see a lot of our Northeast teams and different things. Like we've got guys that are good and not great, right? We have velocity, but not top level velocity. We have good breaking balls, but not like wipeout stuff. These guys have to pitch, and Matt did a great job for us stepping in as kind of our number one after Tanner went down.
Yeah, I appreciate that regarding Tanner Gresham. Poor research on my part, but and then in the bullpen, I noticed a couple guys, not necessarily the largest in stature, but they've had tremendous seasons, and that's lefty Sean Dennehy, and then right-hander 5'8" Robbie Bucher.
Yeah, Robbie Bucher is he's the guy we go to and kind of, in any situation. He's got a bunch of starts and he's come out of the pen. He threw the 5 innings against Arkansas. He's a 3-pitch, small right-handed, quick arm guy, like a little breaking ball, change up, and moves it around. He's like a good college pitcher. Sean Dennehy is our it's just grit and fire. He's coming in and at times it's been up to 93, 94. His breaking ball and changeup are okay. His control sometimes goes in and out, but he is coming in to rear back and let it fly, and he's been really good for us. Yeah, no, out of the pen, Tyler Pritchard's a left-handed pitcher, a low slot lefty, fastball changeup, and at times is better against right-handers, but he's been good for us. And then Trevor Finan, he's a Tampa, Florida kid. Really, really tough sinker slider. And those two guys have been the guys that have bridged that innings gap that Tanner Gresham, when he went down, we had to fill. So those two guys have been really good. And then the final pitcher that, he's had an unbelievable year for us is Mike Ruggieri. He's a big 6'7" right-hander, low 90 slider. Again, another All Patriot League guy. It's not always pretty, and it's, sometimes he works himself in the jams, but he doesn't get hit very hard, and he's been really good for us.
Switching over and taking a look at your lineup, the power numbers really jumped off the page, and your team hit for average as well, I believe, coming into this Charlottesville regional with a 304 team batting average. So you have 5 guys that are hitting not only over 300, but at least 9 home runs and 15-plus doubles.
Yeah, those first 5 guys are as good as anybody that we've seen, and I think we're led by Kevin DeBrule. He's our shortstop, hitting 410, 411, something like that. He's he hits in our 3-hole. He's about 5'10", 170 pounds, but plays big. Close to 70 RBIs, and then right behind him is Ross Friedrich, who's 6'5", 230, and is kind of your prototypical left-handed power bat.
In addition to those 5, tell us some other guys who have had solid seasons.
Yeah, I think our leadoff guys, our catcher Derek Berg is a good catch and throw guy as there maybe is around, and just has the ability to kind of change the game with a swing. And then as you work down, Sam Root is a left-handed hitting third baseman. Has been really, really good over his 3 years. Braden Galinsky, our center fielder, switch hitter, has had power from both sides and really, hit under 200 last year and was a first-team all-conference guy. Had a great postseason. And then we have kind of sophomores and freshmen that go down the list. But Colson Titus is a guy that, 1 home run going into the playoffs and then hit 3 in our conference tournament and really kind of changed the complexion of our series. So he was huge for us to be able to get to this point.
Finally, on the defensive side, talk about your ball club. How have you fielded it this year?
Yeah, no, it's been, I think we've played well defensively. Our outfield defense, for guys that don't, run great, they cover ground and have done a nice job. And then we installed turf, so we played almost 90% of our games on turf, so that'll make anybody good defensively. But our left side, Ruda and DeBrule are really, really good. Ross Friedrich behind, at first base, is as good a first baseman. He has just really good feel and feet. And then Derek Berg, I mean, for a guy that played second base last year, when you watch him catch and throw and back pick and do some things, like it's pretty good. So when we play well, we play defense, and it's like anybody, because our pitchers aren't always striking everybody out. Like, we have to be able to control the baseball. And the games that we've really had, success, and again, against, bigger teams and better teams, we've played, really, really solid defense. So we'll have to bring that this weekend. But I like our club defensively. They do a nice job. They communicate well. They're in position. They're engaged. They've been really good.
And finally, the experience that this club has, you've referenced it a couple times throughout the interview, in going into an atmosphere like you'll have in Charlottesville. East Carolina will be bringing a strong contingent there to Davenport Field, and obviously UVA always packs it out when they host. So, what have you told your ball club? And honestly, you probably haven't had to say a whole lot due to that experience and success.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing that kind of resonated with me looking at it was, every game that we played in our conference season stuff, like, we had the bullseye on our back, that everybody was gunning for us. And then for the first time all year, we get to shed that and put it on someone else. Right. UVA is supposed to beat us. East Carolina is supposed to beat us. Oklahoma is supposed to beat us. So we can take some of that energy that we were using, on the other end to kind of push it out. And I think play free. For these guys, some of these guys, this is the last time that they're going to play baseball in their lives. Like, I think you'll see them play that way. They're going on to serve and to, go to aviation school or go out into, into their officership and lead, our Army. So, like, these guys are ready to go. And I think, when you look at it in a different sense, and again, having been there and done it, and knowing, how much fun it's going to be. I mean, we play in front of a couple hundred people, right? Family and friends always. And to get into a place in Charlottesville, and I mean, there's no doubt that East Carolina is, going to bring a huge contingent up too. Like, this is what they want to do. This is why they come to Army, to win Patriot League championships and then go play in the NCAA tournament. And, I think it'll be fun. I mean, who knows what's going to happen, right? But I don't think the top of the list, I don't think guys are nervous. I think they're excited. And again, excited to be with their team, just, for some of them one last time.
I appreciate you carving out 10 minutes for us this morning, Coach, as you and your staff prepare for the Charlottesville Regional. And, best of luck to you as you, move throughout the postseason into your future there in West Point. And, before we let you go, tell folks how they can follow you as well as Army baseball on social media.
Yeah, so I think it's Army WP baseball. I'm at Chris Tracz. But there's a lot of great content on Go Army Sports too, to follow all of our cadet athletes and everything going on here at West Point. But I know from being down there and knowing, obviously who's in this regional, the respect that we have for the opponents and whoever we're going to play for our kids and for our institution, and we're really looking forward to it.